Before we shoot again, I want to verify everybody's got a good, safe draw stroke. We'll spend 5 minutes. Part of the reason I do this, how many of you in your group, it would be considered like the gun guy? You're at the family picnic and they're like, hey Mark, you know, all the shit going on, me and the missus want to get a gun. What should I get? And you're like, oh, you need an AK-47, right? Or Danny, last year, remember you took me and we got that Glock 48. I've actually never shot it. I know you're super busy. You think we could go to the range, right? That happens to all of us, does it not? I do want to have this stuff down pat because this is where people get hurt. So let's square up. Don't worry about your target right now. You okay? You cold? You need a hug?
A little chilly, but I got it. Bring it in?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
When you stay there for a long time and I feel you pulling your pelvis away slowly, it's weird. All right, we're not putting our fingers on the trigger right now, okay? Your guns are loaded. So we're just gonna work through this. 1, support hand comes to the center line of your body or it clears the cover garment. Your strong hand goes to the gun. Are you there? Yep. 2, gun clears the holster and orients out into the ground in front of you. Your support hand is still not on the gun. Support hand's not on the gun. Yep. 3, your support hand contacts the trigger guard and now you're in this position compressed in front of you. 4, punch the gun out and get a sight picture. So I want to really quick just walk the line and see if I want to make any adjustments to anybody's support hand. So I would like to see this hand come back a little bit. How do you like that? So take this hand off the gun once. Like I would probably be about like, get this thumb out of my way, I'd be like that. Now I'll let that thumb just float. A little higher. Feel that difference or no? That looks pretty good. I would like to see this hand, get it off the gun for a minute. Get this thumb out of my way. I'd like to see you up a little bit higher like that.
Even with the cant?
Yep. So higher, 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 higher. Yep. Can you straighten this elbow? No? Is it broken? I mean, do you have something wrong with it?
T-Rex.
I didn't know if, well, your arms are the same length, I think. This is like, there is not a good shooter anywhere in the world that puts their finger up there. There's one guy that I've ever seen. Like to see this hand cam up a little bit. Okay, cool. Let me see what you got. That looks good. That looks good. I would just let these thumbs float. Yep.
Okay.
You need some lotion. Your hands are dry.
Oh yeah.
I've got a couple different varieties. We've got some Freesia. Take this off the gun.
Thanks.
No, take it off the gun. I want you to feel something.
Okay.
You don't feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. 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 All right. So just bring that gun back in a little bit to where you can. I'm going to step forward right here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Just come right back here and you can muzzle up a little bit. That's what happens when you don't lock the mag in. And open your hand up without taking your finger off the gun. And look at where your finger is contacting the gun. See that? That's your touch point. And that may change some. That may change some. But that is where we are joining. We're not going to work too quickly this morning where we are not building repeatability. So as that gun gets drawn, look at me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, finger is off the trigger, guard is clear, safe to holster, look it in. Understand?
Yes, yes.
So recover to the holster right now safely. I want to hear you guys verifying that your finger's off the trigger. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So your hands right now are joined. 4, 3. So 2. Roll that gun over, inspect the trigger, and say to yourself, when you have verified it, don't just say it, trigger guard is clear, it's safe to holster. You should be thinking to yourself, holy crap, I have a loaded weapon that literally could punch a hole through flesh and bone and organ and sinew. I should really pay attention to what I'm doing with this. 1, support hand's either clearing cover garment or it's at the center line of the body. 2, 3, verify touch point. You're in the center of your body. I know some of you already have a good draw stroke, but I want to make sure that we have this process down. 4, punch the gun out. 3, come back in. Verify your trigger is clear, trigger guard is clear. You would be decocking or going to safe at this point, yes? Yes. So as we start to progress a little bit more, I'll just give you the number. So recover to the holster. 1, 2, 3, 4. As we progress, I just want to make sure that we're using good practices to go back to the holster. Let's do it one more time together. 1, 2, hands not joined yet. 3, 4, 2.
Fingers off the trigger.
I should hear 18 of you. Safely recover. We're going to grab some target pasters and we'll put up a paster on each of your 10 and 5s. We'll have evens go first. So 2, 4, 6, 8 will go first, and we're gonna work on shooting this paster. So I'll give you 7 tries to hit this. Yes, please do. Downrange. I'll give you 7 tries to get some hits on this, and then we'll move forward. We'll see where you guys are going. Left edge of the paster. Do it again. Perfect. Do it again. Aim at the same spot. Aim at the same spot. Left edge of the paster. So, holes in a target are data, right? You go to the doctor, you get an x-ray. They're trying to develop data so that they can figure out what to do. If we're not reading what's happening, all of his shots were going high right. So either his point of aim is funky, his sights are misaligned, or he is imparting some movement in the gun over and over. You get what I'm saying? So in the immediate, we adjusted his point of aim and he hit dead center. So we got to read what's happening. Dom has 1 round high, 1 round low. We don't have enough data there to read anything. I think you're moving. Dom, aim at dead center. Press a smooth, perfect shot. Aim dead center. Get the slack out of the trigger and come straight back, straight back, straight back. So aim at the bottom of the paster. Do it again. There you go. Aim at the bottom of the paster and press straight back. So I think you're bouncing around a little bit, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right. I want you guys to go through a magazine. Don't just race, race, race. Only value is if you're reading what's happening, kind of checking back in after each shot. What did I feel? I don't mean feel like I feel hungry or I'm a little bit distraught today about all that's going on in the world. No, I mean like, what did you feel? Did you feel the wind pushing you? A couple of you were complaining about the thing blowing around. Who gives a shit? If your sight's aligned and then it blows, don't press the trigger until it stops blowing. That's a choice. Let's try it. You should be decocked, Matt, when that gun is back in. Let's do it. You should be decocked when that gun's back in. Justin, you should be decocked when that gun is not. Yeah, if you got a double single and you broke that gun down and you're no longer shooting, you should be decocking it. I probably wouldn't go to safe, but I would decock it. Got it? Yep. All right, let's go through one magazine. Everybody that shot, did you hit it at least once? Yes, no? Yep. Next line up, go ahead and scoop your mag. Next line up, we'll shoot and then we'll set it up and we'll do it again. So odds are on the line now. So we're just gonna go one round. Present your pistol. You're not firing yet. Present your pistol. Mount your gun out in front of you. Give me a good sight picture. Give me a good sight picture. Look at your dot, look at your sights, look at your grip. Do you like everything? Do you feel like you're somewhat steady? Because part of this construct of shooting a group is you want to be repeatable. Repeatable. Put your finger on the trigger and come to the wall, the hard spot of the trigger, but don't fire. Finger straight, compress back in. Finger straight, compress back in. Just relax for a second, compress back in. So when you bring that finger to that locator position, your finger's straight on the frame. Punch back out, get another sight picture, and when you're ready, give me one shot. Nice, Josh. Who got a hit?
I did.
All right, compress back in. If you didn't get a hit or you did get a hit, let's assess what's going on out in front of you and then think to yourself, was it a good trigger press and a good sight picture? If it was not a good trigger press or a good sight picture or a combination thereof, we need to strive for that. So when I said be responsible for where your muzzle is, I guess another way to look at it is make the conscious choice that you're just not going to press the trigger, or when you press the trigger, the sight or dot will be where you want it to be. If it's not, don't press the shot. Just from a purely mechanic standpoint. Press it back out, slack out of the trigger, smoothly, consistently press the trigger straight to the rear when you're ready and break another shot. Ah! Finger high off the trigger when we're compressed in. Did we get a hit? Yes, no, maybe so? Let me see your gun, Mark.
I think I'm pulling it with my trigger finger. I think I'm pulling it.
It's shooting
down.
a here right for me, those two rounds up top.
It's shooting right, but I'm shooting low and well.
All right, so grip the gun a little more stiffly.
Okay.
All right, guys, punch the gun back out, slack out of the trigger. So you're at that hard spot. This is the most simple thing in the world. All you're doing is moving a lever, a little switch, i.e. the trigger, a quarter of an inch or so without moving that little dot. That's it. That's it. Just press straight back, straight back, straight back. Don't get frustrated.
What?
Don't get frustrated. We're just firing once, guys. Okay, so looking down here at Dan's target on the end, all your shots are low. Punch the gun back out and aim at the top edge of the paster. Top edge of the paster. Press straight back. So everybody pause for a second. This is, I don't want to see this. Look at me without muzzling me. I don't want to see this. I'm trying to exhibit good mechanics, which means that if my goal in life is to have that, in this exact moment, to have that sight or dot on the target, I'm not going to be dropping my head or dropping the gun. This isn't like a gamesmanship or tactical thing. If I'm really focused on following through and ensuring that I'm lined up, all my mental focus is into that sight right now. And as the gun goes off, it's just driven right back to the same point. So part of the problem is we're moving around too much. We're just like, I want to see what happens. You can see through your sights or dot the bullet appear if you're looking. So try it again for me. So come to that hard spot, the wall. Move nothing but the trigger and press straight back. Let me see your gun real quick. I just want to see where she's zeroed. So aim at the top edge of the paster. Top edge of the paster. We don't want to move anything with these fingers, so give me a little more pressure with those and press straight back smoothly and consistently with the trigger. The rest of you guys, I want you to go through the magazine that you're on for about 10, 12, 15 rounds. Some of you got 30 round magazines. Finish that mag, reload, recover to the holster, and then we're going to talk through this a little bit. Aiming at the same paster, being very mindful. here's how we're going to proceed with this. Everybody got a try at it. Who did not get a hit? Everybody got a hit? So everybody got a hit. I'd like to see 75%, reliability, because then you can go and repeat that. So here's how this will work. We're going to add some dry fire into this, okay? I'm going to do the same thing that you guys were just doing. I'm going to punch my gun out, get a sight picture, take a shot. I missed. Come back in, fingers straight. Remove the source of ammunition, store it on my body. I'm just going to jack that round to the ground. I see it, gun's empty. I'm going to now dry fire for, we'll say, 10 reps. Gun comes back out, sight picture. Pressure, 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 shot breaks. Finger to the locator, bring the gun in. I'm going to simulate a tap, rack, back to that karate chop, nothing changes, punch the gun back out. Pressure, 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 shot breaks, tap, rack, pressure, 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 tap, rack. You tracking? Pressure, 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 tap, rack. Why am I tap racking?
Good habit.
Yeah.
Most malfunctions.
If your gun goes click, you want to do that.
So why is it a good habit?
If your gun ever goes click,
Thank you. But
you want to do that.
But click, I mean, my gun goes click all the time, and if it's empty, it's going to go click,
True.
right?
But
Magazine may not be seated.
The clicking of the trigger is a bad habit, as somebody said, but we're actually not really training the correct response for that trigger break like that. So I've done it 10 times. I now am going to lock the slide of my gun to the rear, seat, lock, tug, cycle. You're going to do an administrative load. I'm going to punch the gun back out. Remember, if you guys are watching the target, you're missing the point. I take a shot, I missed again, remove the source of ammunition. You guys start to see a thought process here?
yeah.
Get back on it. Notice I'm not doing this shit. That's not helping me. I go through it again. Man, I've had to do 20 dry presses. I don't want to keep dry pressing, right? I want to like get a win here. Okay, so maybe I should start to like think about what I'm doing. Back on the sights, right? I did it again. Get the point? I go through it again. Seat lock, tug, cycle, press check. This is literally how I do this when I'm alone at the range. I want to start to figure out, okay, what am I seeing? Why am I missing? What's happening? What am I doing? All right, let's get back on it. All right, I'm okay with that. Little off to the left, I felt what happened. I was paying attention. I felt this hand a little looser than I like it. Back on, I got my touch point. In each iteration, I'm ingraining what I want out of it. Slacks out of the trigger, pressure, pressure. Whoa, this bullet went right where I was looking. So each time you keep looking, where's the weak spot? Jam a wedge in it. Where's the weak spot? Jam a wedge in that. Get what I mean? And this is the problem with how we train, right? Yeah, I'm training. That's stupid. So let's try it again. Let's run down and put up a new paster. This is what people that are great shooters do. They don't just keep slinging lead at a target. You correct, right? 10 dry fires for every miss. Nice. Oh, what happened? Let me see that blaster real quick. Decock. I want to feel the double action on it. That double action will go. You just got to keep pressing smoothly to the rear. More of an equal triangle. So you guys that just went, you kind of get the point. Now we're isolating a bunch of criteria. I can talk to you about the principles that we're trying to work on or implement. I can look at the target and then we can try to identify, ooh, maybe you're doing this or doing that. The easiest and best thing for you is to get out of your own head. Don't tell me this is how I do it and so I'm working on it. Who gives a The shortest path between 2 points. Yeah, I mean, sometimes the games we play in our head, if you said to me, Mark, please walk to Mark. I did this with you guys yesterday and I started going like this. Well, I usually do it this way, and for a long time this is how I was taught to do it, and I just think like maybe my sight's off, and oh, hi Mark, versus go to Mark. Okay, grip the gun good, see the sights, press the trigger straight to the rear, right? You guys get the point? We have a circle jerk in our head. Why? Just so you can convince yourself of something that we already know? You know what I mean? How many times in your life have you realized something that everybody already told you? Hey man, you really shouldn't get drunk and beat your wife. It took you like 10 years to, another one left. Maybe there's a joke. Adam is like, I have yet to figure this out. Where are you from? Poland? He still definitely beats his wife. You guys are total wife beaters, dude. That's a joke. You get my point though? So we talk about these things and it's incumbent upon us to be able to kind of compartmentalize what's happening, all the while reinforcing the good stuff, and then every time something bad comes up, stop. And the challenge is, as we're training, I mean, there's 900 things that we could possibly always be working on. It's just too much, right? You don't take a kid, and parents do this. You got to learn Latin. You got to play the piano. You got to play violin. You got to eat your peas. You got to go to bed on time. You got to. It's just it's just too much. Pick a thing. Say thank you. Right? You get what I'm saying? So some of the basic stuff: good draw stroke, good presentation, good grip. You'll notice no matter what gun's in my hand or what size target I'm shooting, if I'm shooting fast or slow, that gun's mounted out in front of me. Pressure, 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 right? If I'm shooting fast or slow, single action or double, the gun comes in, recover to the holster, do it again. Yes? So we'll swap the line. If you miss, clear the gun out, and when we clear the gun, remove the source of ammunition. Lock the slide to the rear, visually and if needed physically inspect the chamber. Take your 10 dry presses, recover to the holster or reload. How do I reload? Lock the slide to the rear. Retrieve a magazine, seat lock, tug, cycle. You may press check. For me, decock and then get back to the live fire.
industry focuses on the door, and that's where all their weight is, and they show all the bolts and corner bolts and all this stuff. You cannot pry these open. Take a circular saw, cheap circular saw with a carbide blade, and we've got videos on this. It's a $20 blade. I cut a gun safe completely in half. It's a big safe. It's a minute, 20 seconds, and I cut a 12-inch hole in the side in 18 seconds. A determined thief who knows you have a safe will open it up in minutes. That's not why you have a safe. Now, we look at storage from a different standpoint. Security, that's going back to our military, how and why the military stores firearms. If you're going to store firearms in your home or secure them in a method or in a way that gives you an advantage, that puts you at a tactical advantage. Most people own firearms. One of the reasons is home defense. Even your avid hunters say, well, I'm a hunter, but if somebody breaks in, I still want a firearm. So store them in a way that gives you an advantage. And our term is principles of decentralized storage. Break up the safe, store in small modular cabinets located throughout your home. Mm-hmm. Put you you're much safer. The guns are safer for a lot of reasons we can go into, and you're never more than 3 seconds away from a firearm that is truly child safe.
What's the method of entry into these safes? Is there more
we
than
use
one?
we use simple push button locks.
Okay.
No, like the fingerprint readers we would never use.
Yeah.
We consider this never fail technology. If somebody is in your house with a gun shooting at you, it has to open in a second or two. You don't have in a fingerprint reader, if your fingers are dirty, wet, gloves, there's so many reasons they won't open.
Mm-hmm.